Well, whoops.
Ooh,
Whoa, we're here. We're at episode 12.
Bloopers.
Yes. I know, episode 12. This is Knit and Jenna and the Crazy Cat Lady.
We're happy to be back.
Yeah.
This is fun. Now, we do have to start off, and it's not so much fun, but here in the St. Louis area, in our knitting community, I'm sure everyone will know, but we just want to go ahead and mention it again. Christy, I don't know Christy's last name. I just know Christy, the greatest knitter.
Yes.
She knits some fabulous things.
Beautiful things. She works at Yarncom. She spins, and she just has like the biggest, sweetest smile, and she's just so friendly.
And always willing to help. Even before working at Yarncom, you know, on knit night, if you had a problem with a pattern, she could help you figure it out. Well, poor Christy has lost her adult son. And it was unexpected and sudden loss to the family. And he worked at Applebee's. He didn't have any children of his own. His name is Josh, and he wanted everything he had and all of his assets to be sold and trust set up for his niece's college fund. He worked at Applebee's, and the Applebee's at 2921 South Service Road in St. Charles is having a fundraiser, and all of their profits from October 17th from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. will go to the Josh Holden Memorial College Fund for his niece. So, of course, just wanted to, get that out there. You can look at the Yarncom site for more information.
We'll link it in the notes, or at least put some information in there so that if you're interested,
just mention that you're there for the Josh Holden, so that they will let everybody know. We wanted to make sure that there's a good number of people.
Yeah, if we can help in any way.
Oh, did I bump the table again? Let me move over here. We just want to make sure that we get the word out and that everybody who can attend does attend. And, it's just one way to show Christy that we love her and we care for her and that we want that Memorial College Fund to be big in honor of Josh. Okay, pause.
All right, better. We're having some
technical difficulties.
Yeah, with our equipment, Yes, so, October 17th at the Applebee's in St. Charles. We'll put that information in the show notes. We'll link to Yarncom's post on Instagram, I think. Would be really helpful.
Got a lot of stuff going on this side of the table.
That's all right. We do have a lot of stuff. It's only been 2 weeks, so...
I don't remember what we showed last time. What did we show last time?
Well, last time was kind of an everything type of episode. We had all kinds of stuff because it had been so long since we had recorded. So this week I feel like I have less stuff, but maybe more to talk about.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what we had, but I'll just go with the flow.
So wait, before we get started, can we just talk about this? Do you see what's happening here?
I got it.
On this sweater? You couldn't make this. I don't think we could knit this. But,
I got it from Walmart. But I stopped dead in my tracks when I saw it.
Yeah, as you should have. It's perfect for the Crazy Cat Lady.
It's got cats all over it.
Yes.
It's my house. I'm not going to wear it out in public. It's my house.
I think you should wear it for our guest appearances whenever we get real famous and we start showing up places.
Okay, I will. I will.
Yeah,
I just needed another house sweater. I keep saying I was going to knit one.
Yeah.
My sister gave me one. It's too long. You want your house sweater. You need the sleeves out of the way.
Yes.
You need it not too long because, you wear it in the house when you're doing stuff. So.
Plus, if it's that long, you can just put you don't need it to be long because you can always put a blanket
Right.
in.
So. But yeah, that's funny. I'll wear it to public appearances when we become really famous. Knittin, Jenna, and the Crazy Cat Lady. Can't wait.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
So what have you been working on?
Okay, so I've only been working on these socks, which it's funny because they're like, oh, it's not a sock, Jenna. And it's not. It's 2 socks in one. It will be 2 socks. But right now, it's still just my tube, and I've posted a couple times. I've This is the third time that I'm knitting
what
this
I do with
ribbing.
mine.
And I have measured it and measured it and measured it. So
Oh,
we talked about this last time, but
you brought out the
socks, the last pair of socks I made like this, that was a tube. It was a tube that was knitted like.
There you go.
So
There you
I knit
go.
a big tube like this last time with as much
all you
yarn
gotta
as
do
possible.
is measure it. What's your measurements on it?
Oh, I have no idea. I've just been holding this up to my this tube. So I've been holding up actually because I just measured down this to here. And so then I marked it a little bit longer. So there's my marker, my happy face marker.
So on this one,
And then double it.
You got to 7 3/4 for the leg, and then this is 6 1/4.
So I think I've knit this a little longer
So 14
because I wanted
inches?
them to be a little longer.
Yeah. Okay.
So I doubled it. I just put a marker in the middle and just doubled it. And so I'm about 1, 2, maybe 6 rows into like, I don't know what that is, like 12 or 14 rows, 20 rows maybe. So I just have a little bit more
So you think you're gonna?
of that.
I think you gotta go a little bit further.
Don't say that. I
be longer than that.
I cannot rip it out anymore.
What do you mean? Don't rip it. Just do it. You started your rib?
Yeah, I started the rib.
It'll be all right.
I think it will. I think it will.
Right.
So I was like,
Block
oh, maybe I can get the
Yeah.
ribbing done before we recorded today. No, we've been busy with family all weekend. And like recently.
But that's a good family knit going round and round
It is,
and round
except,
and round.
my youngest Sarah, she's 15 months and she is into everything. Like if she can touch it, she will. And she listens, like she'll stop doing whatever she's doing, but like we were at my mother-in-law's house yesterday and she has lots of plants and lots of art, and for the most part you can be like, no, stop, let's go over here. And like we had toys out for her and stuff, but like sister is into.
It was a lot to see.
It was a lot. So she's like picking up these potted plants that are like glass, and they're sitting on a glass table, and she's like, huh? And I'm like, okay, I cannot knit and like keep glasses for our plants from shattering. So I was pretty much following her around, and it worked out fine. But it was just like my knitting time is.
That's funny.
Tricky. It's tricky to get some done. Plus, like, I'm so silly. I've been reading like these books on my Kindle app on my phone, and like it's all kind. I read all kinds. I don't read all kinds of things. I'm really into like some magic and like almost like teen, like young adult teen. I don't know.
Hey, I hear
such a nice escape from
young adult
life.
Novels have come a long way.
They really have.
There are a lot of full-grown adults who enjoy the young adult novels because they've come a long way, and they don't have you don't have to worry about it getting X-rated on you.
Well,
suddenly.
there's some like it's very much like coming of age and like discovering yourself, and like I really like watching that transformation in people.
Can't relate to that.
I think that's it, and it's one of the things I really love about teaching middle school is like you get to see so much of that like personal growth, and you get to see kids kind of come into their own and like kind of figure out ideas. Figure out like who they are, and like there's so much potential for growth. I don't know. I really enjoy them, and it's like a nice escape from being an adult.
Right.
And worrying about like how to feed my children, and what to make, and how to clean this, and what schedule's here, and what's going on. And
I'm the same way with like British TV. I like British TV because I like British murder mysteries. I don't want the whole detail on the killing of the murder, the gore. I just want you to start with they're dead and we're going to figure out who killed them.
Yes. Maybe that's my problem with like American crime drama. Yeah, I don't like all the
I don't like that
goo and gore. Yeah, that's good. But I also have a hard time with TV right now. Just because it like you have to dedicate, I don't know, 30 minutes of like sitting and watching that, whereas like I usually can't watch TV with my children because they want to watch what they want to watch, and it's not what mom wants to watch.
I know.
So, but I can sneak a few pages in, you know, on my Kindle app on my phone and, you know, read a little bit here and there while they're watching, I don't know, Bluey or...
Aren't you happy that you've gotten to that point, though?
Yes. Yes,
it's exciting.
I am. It is exciting. So, long story short, when I get like a moment or two, I'm not necessarily knitting all the time. I'm reading a lot, too.
Look, I want y'all to look at this.
Oh,
I want y'all to look at that Eye of Partridge heel I did. Look at that. I'm so proud of myself.
Spectacular.
I'm so stinking proud of myself.
So
okay,
tell us about it.
So I started a new pair of shorties. This is for a friend. Look at that. Look at that. And of course, this of course is the Sockease that Bad Tammy had us buy.
We are still on Sockease.
Yes.
You bought a good amount.
I know.
What's the name of this one? What drink is it?
Is this Cosmo? I don't know.
It is.
Is that one Cosmo? I don't know. I get all mixed and messed up.
Okay.
But the heel is Knit Picks. And look at this. This
is Cosmo. I can see that. Blue. It does kind of look like a Cosmo drink.
Isn't that blue? This blue is North Pole Heather. I found this in my stash.
That's pretty. That's
I'm
Knit
gonna have to
Picks
look and see.
Stroll Tweed. But the other one was the Lion Brand Sockease.
I would not mind having a sweater out of this.
I wonder. I
just love that blue. It's an icy blue.
It is. And that would look beautiful on your skin. On your tones. See?
I wouldn't mind having a sweater out of that.
I bet you have some more.
I found it in my stash somewhere, so I may have to see what Knit Picks has going. So, of course, there I am. I'm working on the foot on my other one. I kind of do them in tandem. I am at the point where I need to do the heel here on this one. Who knows?
So, wait. How many stitches are you doing?
64 stitches.
64, okay.
I did 2x2 rib for 15 rows, and then I switched to a 3x1 rib. I was going to do a new sock pattern, the pattern that your mom had done. And you know what I realized? I realized that I actually had that book that's in.
Of course you did.
I was going to do the Columbine Peak pattern from...
Is that Cat Bordhi book?
Yes, from Cat Bordhi. Socks on 2 circular needles.
So when my mom first started knitting, so backstory. My mom, so I grew up in South Louisiana, just north of New Orleans, and there was a shop in Lacombe, Louisiana, which is like, Lacombe is tiny. But the name of the shop was called McNeedles, and it was built in this old shotgun house, and like it was really neat. You walked in the front door, and there was like a room of yarn, and then you went like in a shotgun house. You just have to travel through the rooms. There's no hallway or anything. Like the doors just line up, so you can shoot a shotgun from the front to the back of the house.
Right,
and it would clear it. And so it was this cute little white house that had 1, 2, 3 rooms of yarn, and then a room in the back with like a big table for classes in the kitchen, and then this big wraparound porch. But anyway, the gal who owned it, Pam McNeely, she opened the store, I want to say in like 2008, 2007. And my mom found out about the store, went over there, and decided she was going to learn how to knit. So she took some classes because my mom wanted to knit socks. And so that was one of her first books, because she would like the first sock class is usually like, oh, you knit like one sock, and like you just kind of learn the basics of knitting one sock. And my mom's like, I cannot wait for just one sock. Like I want to learn how to do 2. And so in that book, she talks about like how to set things up on your needles, and so it's just funny that like my mom loves to pull out her old pattern books and be like, okay, now let's try this, let's try that, and like. Not that it's that old. I don't know, 2009.
Yeah.
How old is that? Like 20 years?
That is old.
Almost?
Yeah.
Well, I learned how to knit in 2009. So my mom had been knitting for maybe like 6 months, maybe a year. And I came home for Christmas break right after I finished my undergrad years. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm knitting. I'm like, I'm going to learn. And so she taught me that Christmas. And it's just been like, ever since, I can't put it down.
And you know what? I want you to know that I crossed Lake Ponchartrain just because you told me to go to that knit shop when I was in Louisiana.
Wow.
And as I was crossing that lake, I was like, why did I think this would just be 5 miles? No.
That is that is the longest bridge over water.
It's long.
It's 24 miles, and you can only go like 60 miles an hour. It's a toll.
Oh, it's long.
You used to have to pay $1.50 on each side. Now I think you just pay.
And those birds swoop down on your car.
There's birds.
And I'm like, somebody should told me that I was going to have birds attacking my car.
But
I
it was
like, oh.
but I worked there for a summer between when I finished my master's and before I went and got my first teaching job. I worked there for a summer. I learned so much. The ladies who worked there were amazing. Like Pam was great. So the store closed, I guess, a couple years ago. The pandemic was not kind.
It didn't make it through the pandemic.
I think it did, but I think after that, like, also I think, you know, she was ready to move on and do some different things. And
it was a nice store. I went. Yes. I went over there, but I found another way to go back. I was not going back.
You can go around. Yeah, you can go around through Slidell over the Twin Span, and like you could have gone like.
That's what I did. I was like, I am not going back over that bridge.
Yeah, there's still bridges, but they're definitely not.
They're not that long.
No.
So yeah, that was nice, and they were really sweet. I remember I walked in and said your name, and they were like, "Oh!" Well, I got a whole lesson on gumbo. And
yes, but it's so like I love that shop. In fact, I got married in Lacombe, like not far from that shop. Like there's a Catholic church right there, and the day that I was getting ready for my wedding, me and my girlfriends went to that shop, and that's where I put my dress on.
Oh.
And, like, we had drinks, and like I did some knitting in my dress, and it's a cool spot. It's just such good memories. Like those ladies were wonderful. They taught me so much. That's how I learned how to use a Swift and a ball winder, and like.
Is that how you learned how to wind such fabulous balls?
You know the task that they give to people who are new to working at a knitting shop?
Is that the new girl task?
It is. I felt like it was, but also it was really helpful. It's one of my favorite things to do now whenever I start a knitting project is to break open a skein and like lay it all out and wind it into a ball and just kind of like get familiar with what you're doing and like how the yarn looks.
You wind some really nice balls.
Thank you. Thank you.
While I had the sock out, I had said I was going to mention this. This is for a friend, and you know, I basically asked her, you know, what kind of sock would she might like to have, and I think she said shorty. She's probably going to wear it. A lot of people wear shorties at night when they go to sleep. And then the great thing is that Twice Sheared Sheep has this great sock ruler.
Wait,
I love it.
I have mine.
Because then you can just ask the person what size shoe they wear, and it has kids, women's, and men's, and you can literally stick it in the heel and then know how far you need to knit before you stop to do the toes. It's absolutely fabulous.
I love this thing. Mm-hmm. I've been using this for Molly. So my daughter Molly she'll be 4 in a couple weeks, and I think I showed you guys this last time.
And then it pops back into a little.
And her never-ending, my daughter with her never-ending feet. I have not gotten any closer.
Because wait, you knit and she grows.
She
grows.
So look, I'm at a place, and like, so last time I went and took her to buy shoes, so this is the kids. Last time I went and took her to buy shoes, she was a size 8. Well, those shoes are too small, so I ordered her a pair of size 9s. She wore the size 9s for like 3 weeks, and she was like, Mom, my toes are hurting. I had to order her the next size up. So right now she's in a size 10.
So you got to knit faster.
Yeah, I do. So I only have one sock. But I love it because just what you do, you just pop it on there, push it into the heel, knitting. I wonder.
I love it.
If you were knitting toe up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same thing?
It says it works both ways.
Both ways. So I'm not a toe up sock knitter. That's not my jam. I think I've said before. I've tried it for a pair once, and it did not make my heart sing. I would prefer to knit top down.
It says that it works both ways, and it tells you if you're going toe up, it tells you when to stop and start your heel.
Well, I guess that would make sense. I guess the depth of your heel and the depth of your toe is about the same, right? Look at that.
Yeah. So.
Ooh, look, we've learned something new today. I didn't know that. Gosh, there are some really smart people out there.
There are. And this is what?
World.
Twice sheer cheap?
Twice sheer cheap. We'll link to it.
Yeah, twice sheer cheap.
This was part of my Christmas gift from you last year.
Because I wanted everybody to knit socks.
Because they're fantastic. They're fantastic.
I want everybody to knit socks. I'm trying to work through my socks. People, I'm almost there.
Do you think 6 more months of sock knitting?
If I concentrate.
Okay.
I will be so, but then I was digging around and I keep finding these sweater quantities of yarn. I'm like, why did I have
next
that?
up after socks is sweaters.
I'm like, why do I have that?
Gosh, I'm so glad I'm here doing this today. Wow, what a way to end the weekend. It's Sunday and I am
to reflect on what is wrong with me.
Nothing is wrong with you. You are a knitter. But I think too, like, what was that? A couple years ago, we kind of came to the realization, a collective realization, that we have to stop buying like single skeins of sock yarn.
Oh yeah, I had to stop with the single skeins
because like what's it appropriate for? A pair of socks or maybe a hat?
Now don't get me wrong, you do you, people. You do you. But at some point, my anxiety kicked in, and I went to a function at YarnCom last weekend with Cascade Yarns, and they had door prizes and giveaways, and she gave away some great, fabulous yarn. It was like 4 or 5 skeins of yarn, and I was the first one to win. Aren't I lucky?
Yeah.
And I immediately had anxiety, like, oh, where am I going to put that?
But I think it's part of your knitting journey. Like, I think, like, you have to go through that place, like, because in the very beginning, whenever you start knitting or working with yarn in any sort of capacity, like, I think you're just so excited, and it almost doesn't matter what the yarn is or what it feels like or what it really looks like. You're just really excited to have it, so you have to have it. And it doesn't matter, it almost doesn't matter where it comes from. It's just the fact that, like, you have this new exciting thing going on.
And it adds to your stash.
Yes. And so, like, there's things in my stash that I have from the very beginning that I look back and I'm like, what was I ever going to do with this?
Right.
But also, like, I do remember getting it and being so excited about having it, and then also coming to that realization where, like, you spend all this, you're like, oh, wow. I've noticed that, hand-dyed yarn, single skein, whatever, it's pricier than what you probably started entry level, and then you're like, but it's so beautiful. So you're just buying that one skein of something beautiful.
That's right. And I gotta stop.
Well, and a lot of that was like souvenir yarn. Like, I traveled a decent amount.
That's true.
Coaching volleyball. And so, like, I'd go to a new city for a tournament, and I'd look up a yarn store. And so, like, whenever I had downtime, I'd run over there and, like, bop around and then come home with a single skein,
yarn, right?
And it was like an indulgent way to get your hands on something beautiful without, like, the big investment of a sweater quality or something like that.
I'm trying to move to buy the yarn, knit the thing,
I think that's just part of the journey, right?
So that's what I'm trying to do, but it's hard.
I think, too, like, reflecting on your stash and being like, I have all this other stuff, and I want to make something beautiful with it.
Like, I'm making something out of this, and I don't even know. I know I bought that from Expression Fiber Arts. I have no idea.
It's beautiful. It's like a grayish.
And then I started knitting what's supposed to be a DK, and I'm not sure that's DK. Now that I'm knitting with it.
It looks almost worsted.
I'm right. I'm like, it's got to at least be a heavy DK.
Hold it up.
Okay.
Or maybe a light worsted.
I'm like, okay. So I started this yesterday.
But this is such a fun little pattern. This is
it's top down.
Top down. Baby sweater.
It's a little
cables.
It's called Mignon.
Mignon.
And
is it free? No.
I don't know if it's free or not. It's London Loop London. It's their pattern. This is without a doubt.
You've made this several times, and it looks really handsome.
It's
on
my
absolutely
favorite pattern in the whole wide world because it's this page and this page, and that's it. It's basically one page.
Really great bang for your buck with those cables.
And the
that's
instructions
interesting
are
and makes
super
it
clear.
fun, like so you don't get
And
super bored.
it moves really fast.
Look at those.
And it's just got the cables at the top. I'm done
Yeah.
with cables now, and now you just knit straight down in
Is
the
it like
rib.
a 2x2 and then a 3x3 and then a 4x4?
Right, and then you just knit straight down, and you're done. And it takes one skein of DK. So it's perfect. It's perfect for
like,
when somebody ups and has a baby on you, because everybody's got one skein of DK in their stash.
I bet you could fudge this with like a skein of sock yarn or a skein of worsted.
And it's for boy or girl, and it, depending on boy or girl, it has
but you don't have to. You
where
don't have
the
to go
button
back and
location
knit.
is.
You don't have to go back and knit the sleeves. You just have to what? Close it up.
Well, you know me. You split for the sleeves, and you finish the body, and you come back and you do. I think it's 13 rows for the sleeves.
No, this is the way to do it.
But wait, you know, I always go do the sleeves.
Just knit the sleeves, then come back and knit the rest.
And then I come back and knit the rest, so I can go ahead and use up the whole skein of the yarn. But whenever I knit a sweater, I always tend to go do the sleeves now, and then come back and finish.
This is my experienced sweater knitter friend.
And so we have to audition buttons.
Oh yeah.
Because I couldn't decide on buttons, so before you leave, we will. It takes one button.
It's a little girl.
It's a little girl, and so I went through and found all my little one buttons that I might want to try.
Ooh, I like that purpley
So we have to audition buttons for. You know, interesting enough, I like that one too. I thought that one was cool.
That's
too.
darling. It's kind of
It's a handmade button, yeah.
Like almost like
I got that from the bead place.
It'd be pretty
She had a
how
button trunk show once.
the yarn is tonal. Is that our word?
Right. Well, then I got to worrying, are they going to like this? Will a non-knitter appreciate this tonal yarn? Non-knitters don't always appreciate that. A knitter would.
Well,
or is the modeling too much?
I think it's beautiful. And honestly, I will say people will appreciate it. And here's why I think that. Because, and I bring this is my greatest accomplishment sweater-wise, and it will be until I knit another one. But this, my Winter's Beach cardigan that I knit in this kind of difficult to see yarn in terms of like...
You can see it in person?
But like... Sometimes it's tricky to see the
cables that you did.
Like I said in the swatch, it was too tricky to see all the. What was that going to be? Moss stitch, I think, instead of stockinette.
The moss stitch would get lost.
The moss stitch got lost in the yarn, but the cables did not. And I have worn this sweater, and I wore it on a trip a couple weekends ago with my girlfriends, who are none of them knit. None of them knit, and I've known these girls forever, like 20 years. They were in my wedding. They're some of my best friends. We all have kids. Anyway, we're not going to go there right now. But they were like, wow, that's so beautiful. And then when I told them I made it, they were like, no.
Don't you love it?
No. And then they're like, oh, will you make me one? And I'm like, I will happily teach you to knit.
But I don't love you that much.
I said, I will teach you to knit. And they're like, no, just make me one like this. And I said, and then I very politely say, you do not want to pay the money for that. And they're like, what do you mean? And so then we talk more about like how much yarn costs.
Right.
And their like eyes get real big. And then I said, and that's not even talking about the labor.
Remember the time you took Jordan to the and you were
buying yarn
for
festival, and he was like,
were you buying yarn for a gift for one of his friends? And he was like, wait, and now you have to make it.
I'm like, no, it's not worth. And it's so funny. I saw a gal on TikTok who she knits and like commissions pieces for people, and like will charge like $1,000 easily, and people pay it. But I love that she knows what her time and her skills are worth,
and they're willing to pay it.
And I love that she's found people who will do that. But it's really validating too to kind of hear that, like, yes, I spent a couple $100 in yarn for a sweater like that. And then it's
nice when people are willing to actually pay for it, but but a lot of times people don't realize the time that it takes.
No, and I think because a lot of times they don't see all the knitting that you're doing on something, right?
Right. And they
or
they
the
don't realize
ribbing.
it.
Like, that's the other part. Like, the amount of extra little things that went into that sweater because I had that one stupid spot on the back, right? Or like these. This is the third time I'm knitting the ribbing on this.
I had a coworker one time ask me if I would crochet a Afghan for her brother, and I said no, but I can teach you how to crochet. And she said, "Well, I don't have time for that."
I'm so glad you think
that's so funny.
Yeah.
I just had to laugh at her. I was like, okay, so you understand why I'm not going to do it for your brother.
Bless our baby heart.
I was like, that's hilarious.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so okay, well, I'll come back to that. I'll show you the other thing that I'm working on. Here. The only other thing that I'm actively working on is my sweater, this sweater, right? So I cut off one of the other balls of yarn that was attached. And I'm working on the ribbing down here. And it looks beautiful.
I love that yarn. What is that called again?
Coffee break.
I love that.
Miss Babs Yowza.
That is amazing.
In the coffee break colorway. If we could just
get that.
What if we just take a picture of just this stockinette and blow it up and put it behind us?
We should take a picture of it. Who is that? Mrs. Brown's Bags, who takes a picture of the yarn and has the fabric made.
Yes, we should.
Would be.
I love that. I would totally do that. I love this. It's browns and golds and grays and blues and blacks, and it's amazing. I love this. I can't wait for it to be finished. The only reason I have not, like I said, I put in some time and did some of the ribbing. I need 3 inches. I'm at not 3 inches. But this is the Haru V-neck sweater by Soup Knits. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it calls for, I think it calls for DK. That's what this is. So,
is that a DK? Well, then mine might be a DK because I would think that's worsted. Mine might be a DK then. Okay.
I think so.
I just don't know what it is. It's wool and something. Feel it.
I know.
Does it have it?
Maybe.
Maybe it has some cashmere or something in it, or some. I
don't know. Or like
it's super soft. It's amazingly soft.
But the drape on it, that's what makes me think it has something else besides just wool. Maybe like.
Yeah, it has
some
something
cotton
in it.
Or some silk.
My instructions better be just to hand wash and
lay flat to dry.
Maybe I better put some wool wash in when I send that to them. Yeah.
I think so. Those are the only 2 things I am actively working on. I'm still like, I think I'm dead set. The next sweater I'm going to knit is going to be fingering weight because I want that weight of a sweater.
Okay, let me know. Maybe I can work something out with all the stuff I have.
Well, you've been talking about, you're trying to knit that ranunculus.
I asked Bad Tammy. I asked Bad Tammy last week how was she doing on that neckline, and she changed the subject. So I'm thinking she hasn't worked it out yet.
All right, fair. I don't think I have enough. I might have enough yarn to make that ranunculus.
Well, maybe you can work it out for us.
What weight is that? Is that fingering weight?
Yes.
Okay. Am I going to like the way that's going to fit my body?
It's fingering weight, DK, worsted. People have done it in absolutely everything. Okay. Sorry, I'm reaching a bad podcaster.
We're not bad podcasters. Listen, we're not bad podcasters. We have microphones. We have lights. We've got a YouTube account. We both have TikTok accounts now, y'all. We don't even know what we're doing. We're just out there trying to do some things. Oh, so we talked about Corey's cool shirt. I'm telling you about my cool shirt. It makes me laugh. I found this online like last year, I guess, or year before. But it's Ghost Malone.
Oh, that is hilarious.
It makes me so happy. It's like this time of year, I love fall. I love Halloween.
Let me tell you all the
scary
story.
Stuff. I just like the ghosts.
I think you know the story. Okay, so in making socks, you know how you make mistakes, you got to pick up. Okay. So I think I could find it real quick, my pickup sticks, as I call them. But I have a set of needles that I use to pick up, and they are...
The zeros?
They're 000.
Oh, girl.
So I got 000s. In case you make a mistake, you need to think back, pick up, do whatever. 000s. Okay, I ordered these, and they came.
Time out. Let me show you. Like, let me just talk about this. This is...
But it helps you pick up without splitting.
Right. This is a 2.25 millimeter or a US size 1. This is a US 000 or a 1.5 millimeter.
Well, now I'm hot. Mm-hmm.
Look at the difference in the...
But I just use them for picking up. I don't knit with them. Do people knit with them, I think, don't they?
Yeah.
I just pick up.
Maybe on like lace weight or if you wanted a really tight sock. But I think zeros give me a super tight sock. I don't love the way that feels to wear. I like the way it feels when you're like but it's almost like steel wool. But what was I going to say?
I had ordered these and they said they delivered them. I was like, I didn't get them. And I was like, where are they? And I don't know if you remember.
You told me about this, but
it was springtime. Mm-hmm. And do you remember that last snow? We had this snow that came in the afternoon. And they had a picture of this package on my, and I'm like, it's on my sidewalk, but where did it go? I'm like, why didn't they put it up at the door? And I went out in the snow. I looked all over. I could not find this package. It wasn't until... It wasn't until I had the shrubs removed in the front. And the guy was out there and he's like, you got an Amazon package down in here. And he pulls out this Amazon package.
Yeah, this is a lot though. This is a lot for the packaging. But it's
right. And I'm like, oh, there it is. I feel bad because, I told them I didn't get it. And they sent me
new ones.
And I'm like,
you know what though? At least you were honest about it. But you were honest about it. I feel like people play Amazon.
Months later, I'm embarrassed. I know they're being like, why don't you rake your yard?
It was snowing. It's fine. It was snowing.
You were talking about your tube. Mm-hmm. Here's my tube.
I split my tube. Yeah.
I split my tube.
And picked them up.
I guess I could go ahead and do my toe.
Okay, but look.
I split my tube.
I say do your heel first. So, okay, this is why. I forgot to bring this last time. Are we jumping around a little?
Probably are. We got everybody confused.
You guys love it. You love it.
They're totally confused.
Anyway,
but this is how conversation goes with your friends when you get together. It jumps around.
So it's funny because we were just talking about how on the Knit More Girls podcast, how Jasmine and Gigi are not allowed to talk about knitting throughout the week because they want to have stuff to say on their podcast, and that's how we feel. We have I don't know, I know work's super crazy for you, and my people keep me very busy, so I'm not really talking to anybody about my knitting very much, but it was I got here earlier today, and I was like, we must talk about knitting.
Right. And now I realize my stripes aren't exactly lined up. Hence, that means these have to be from my sister.
Well, where do they mix? Where do they mix up?
They mix up right here. I don't know what happened with my balls of yarn.
But that's Patton's Korey for you, though.
Right, that's Patton's Korey. Right here,
everything's fine, and then bam,
right,
it's not. It's like they cut it or forgot what they were doing.
Yes, I think that's what they did. So that means I could go back and make it striped right.
I would just leave it. Okay.
I probably could take it back and make it striped right if I wanted to. But my sister won't care. So.
But I think a mistake in something handmade is
she doesn't care.
But also, you've heard of that?
God bless her. That's the reason why I knit for my sister, because she has absolutely no care in the world about her socks matching. Mm-hmm. She does not. If they're cousins, that's okay. They do not have to be siblings or twins.
I have a funny story about not matching socks here in a minute. But I think it's an Amish tradition in hand quilting where they deliberately put in a mistake because only God is perfect. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that is clearly why I'm making my mistakes.
Then I gotta talk about my Etzel Funk sock bag. She doesn't make these anymore.
I know, the little button bag with the button on the bottom.
Yeah, they don't have. She doesn't make this.
I love these for socks.
Yeah, I think you got me all addicted to them.
My mother did that. She sent me the same bag twice a year apart.
God bless her.
Before she moved here. So anyway, sock architecture, Lara Neal. There, she's got all her. We've talked about this before, but this has the afterthought heel and gusset that we're supposed to try.
It's an afterthought heel and gusset.
Some of this is really...
I have mine out.
What is the word I'm looking for?
I have mine out too.
I'm not pregnant.
See?
I'm not even breastfeeding anymore, but like literally,
you gotta sit down and think.
The number that hormones did on my brain. I find myself searching for words all the time. I don't know how
she
I'm going to go back
pictures, and she talks about the afterthought heel and gusset. So I have it out to sit down and go through it step by step. And
well, you can tell this is where I come for my heels all the time because that's my thing. Because I don't ever really use a pattern. I just kind of do what I want, and then I come in here and find my heel. But it's really this cerebral. Is that the word I'm looking for?
She has several types of different heels.
But it's theoretical. Is kind of the word I'm looking for here because she talks about like
several.
The way that the heel, how you would make it, and how it would fit, and how it would look, and how you may want this one over that one. And you take measurements of your foot, and then she has like pretty simple math in here for how to make that work to fit you. Like this is very much a user's guide type of thing more than a pattern.
Put together
like there are
recipe, for socks.
But yes, she wants you to knit sock architecture, heels, toes, and techniques for knitting awesome socks. Yes, knit those awesome socks.
And I was saying about your mom and the pattern that she did. The reason why I didn't do it on that sock was I went to do it when I got to the foot, and I was like, oh, it's a 12 stitch repeat, and I'm like, darn,
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to be split across needles, and I was like, okay, so I'll have to save that, and I'll have to strategically remember to cast on enough stitches. I may have to change needle sizes to cast 64. On enough stitches.
I guess 64 is not a multiple of 12.
Well, 30, I end up with 32 and 32, and I was like,
yeah, you need 36 and 36.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Do a big foot.
Yeah.
72. That's a 72.
So I may have to go down in needle size.
No, just make them for
Make them for a big foot person.
Or they could just be cozy loose socks.
Yeah, I don't wear cozy loose. I don't wear socks. But okay.
To be fair, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've put socks on my feet since April.
Some people wear them all the time.
Yeah, I have been wearing sandals all summer because I cannot handle putting socks on right now.
What else you got?
I had something else. Oh, okay. We were talking about cousins, sock cousins.
Oh,
I was on the phone with my mom this morning, and she is working on her Christmas socks, and she's got this sparkle yarn that's Christmas, and so she picks up her 2 balls. I wish I would have. I'll have to. Maybe next time I'll bring them. I can get her to see if she'll come. She picks them up and she starts knitting, and she kind of looked in the beginning. She's like, "Oh, these aren't going to match," thinking they're the same. It's the same yarn made by the same company. So she casts on both her socks. So she's got one sock coming out of one ball, one sock coming out of the other ball. She's knitting. She's probably through the cuff, maybe started on the pattern. And she's like, man, these just really aren't striping the same. I don't know what's going on here. She stops and looks at the label. They are 2 different colorways. And so we're talking this morning, and it's like a hank of yarn like that. It's like a skein, whatever. And she's like, so I guess I'm just gonna have 2 different socks, but they're the same colors, just not in the same order. And I was like, Mom, you can make 2 socks from one thing of yarn. And she's like, oh. I was like, so just knit the first sock in each pair,
right? And then go back and knit the next.
And we just laughed for a minute, and then she's like, you know what? It's funny because she has another 2 balls of sparkly yarn that's different, different family of colors for Christmas. And they're also 2 different colorways.
I wanted to knit Christmas socks this year, but I just got too much going on.
So I pulled this out because I thought for sure I should be done with this by now.
Yeah.
I pulled this out a month ago thinking, okay, I'm going to use these needles.
What's that called?
It's called, I don't know,
West Yorkshire Spinners. Oh.
I don't know where I got it.
Signature 4-ply. Okay. And
wait.
what are they? Holly Berry.
I don't know where I bought this. It has a sticker on it like I got it from a local yarn store, though. right?
Yeah, it doesn't say where though.
But I don't know who has stickers
That's
like that.
nice.
Is that
That's
Seven
super
Sisters?
nice. Are you going to do this for you? Or are you gonna...
heck yeah, man.
Okay.
Actually, I need to knit.
You got heels, toes, and cuffs?
Probably.
Okay.
If not, I know where to come.
Right.
But, okay, so I will knit another pair of socks for a friend. So my very good friend, while we were on our girls' trip, she, we were playing pickleball on the last day, and she ruptured her Achilles tendon. Like,
you all have reached that age. Well, you got to watch what you do. You got to warm up.
So that's the thing. We should have warmed up. But also,
if you're doing anything other than getting out the bed, and sometimes getting out the bed, you got to do a little warm up first.
So, but this is my friend who like bikes and hikes and is very athletic and still is very does a bunch of stuff. And like, if anybody was going to get hurt, it was not going to be her. It was probably going to be me, like sitting up hanging out with my baby for 15 months, haven't done anything. And so
girl.
Yeah. So anyway, she had it repaired a couple weeks ago, and she sent me. I knit her back when I first learned how to knit. One of the first pairs of socks I knit for her birthday, and she still has them and she still wears them. And she sends me a picture of that sock stretched over her like ace bandage wrapped around her thing. She's like, I finally don't. They took the cast off. She's like, this is the only sock that fits over my fat foot. And I was like, oh, and she's like, and my kids love them because they're rainbow and like they're cozy. And I was like, oh, and I'm thinking to myself, I need to knit her another pair. I need to knit her another pair.
Put all that down. You need to get on top of hers.
I know. So anyway, Bridget, if you're watching this, don't be surprised when I finally knit you another pair of socks and they show up at your door.
Poor girl.
Oh, okay.
While we're talking about socks, let's just stay on socks.
Yes.
Okay, so a few weeks back, Knit Circus had a trunk show at Yarncom. You know, Bad Tammy knit some socks, and remember she kept sending the pictures, and I kept saying, "What color is that? What color is that?"
Is this it?
And it's Busy Bee. So I went to the trunk show, and
is that the one she did with the yellow heels and toes?
And the creator, she was like, yeah, I don't have that with me. She's like, that's really a custom dye. But she's like, if you order it online, I'll dye it up. She is so sweet. And so I ordered it online, and she dyed up Busy Bee for me. I don't know who those socks would be for.
For you. They are for you.
So I'll probably do a yellow or something on that.
For you.
I don't know, I was just like, I had to have
You
those.
have to knit this for you.
So it came, it did take her a few weeks to dye it up.
Well, she was out
but that was okay.
Doing trunky shows.
Yeah, that was okay. I didn't care. I wanted it.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
This is so cool. Okay, you have to do this for you.
I guess I'll save that in my thing of my socks. I got a couple of skeins that I'm saving for me, that I'm eventually at the end. When I get to the end, I'm going to knit them.
I don't know how you keep waiting to do that. Okay, perks of working at a yarn store.
She knows
voila!
How to do that perfectly.
Can I get this back on?
You probably can. But if you can't, don't even worry about it. I'll remember what it is.
No, I'll put it back.
I mentioned socks. I said we were going to stay with socks. Remember I said I went to the cross stitch needle. I forgot to mention this. This right here is actually cross stitch patterns. This is from Modern Folk Embroidery. And the gentleman that owns Modern Folk Embroidery is just a mastermind of finding different things. Jacob is his name. Of finding different vintage stitching and things. Well, he somehow came across socks, and he came across different old socks, and he took time to chart these socks into cross stitch patterns.
Wow.
Well, of course, when I saw it, and you see all of these were sock motifs where they did color work in socks.
Wow.
And he put them in cross-stitch patterns. Of course, I was like, I'm buying that. That's interesting to me.
Girl, you know what?
Those were sock motifs.
You should just frame that.
And I think he named it, Hold On to Your Socks. But these are 18th century knitting samplers. A sampler of knitting patterns. I thought that was cool.
I think you cut the cover off and frame the cover. I love
Who
that.
knows? I might even cross stitch it. I did buy some red silk to cross stitch it in. But I thought that was cool. Especially, look at that.
I love that.
Isn't that neat?
Can you imagine knitting that? No, I cannot.
Yeah, Jacob is he's fabulous at that. He's a master.
Maybe there'll be a time in my life where I'm inspired to do that series of color work. Okay, more. This is not socks, though.
Not socks.
Oh, this is from your class.
This is from the class. Okay, so Yarn.com, and I feel bad. Shannon is her name. I do not remember Shannon's last name.
It's from Cascade, though, right?
Right, but her and her husband own Cascade Yarns.
Well, then, okay.
And she does these presentations that are absolutely amazing on color. And she goes through how to use this color wheel, what it means, how to use it for dyeing, how to use it for, when you have two colors and you're wondering what third color would go well.
Well, then.
And so then she gave us a knit pattern and a couple of crochet patterns. I did the crochet because I'm quicker at crocheting.
Fast. Yeah.
And so I picked my first. You picked 3 colors. These were the 3 colors that I picked out of all the little balls that they had. And then after you do that, you let somebody who does not know you take out a color and give you a different color. Okay, so the person took out my orange, gave me that.
It's beautiful that it all goes.
And then after you did that, she even really gave you anxiety because you had a different person take away 2.
But what a fun exercise.
It was.
Yeah.
And it was funny because Bad Tammy was there. And so Tammy had said, "Here you," and she's like, no, you all know each other. But it was interesting because the lady who sat next to me, who let me borrow a crochet hook, she picked out a muted purple, a lavender, and a gray. And it was gorgeous, her combination. And somebody said, "That's exactly what you have on." She had on a blouse that was striped. And she's like, "Oh." And so Shannon explained, she's like, literally, when the class sits down, she says, "I can tell by what you have on or what you're knitting exactly what colors you're going to go for." And she's like, "That's the reason why I had somebody who doesn't know you pick out something else, because your friend would pick something still in your color range."
Yeah, I love that. But it is so true. Like unless you're like obviously knitting something for someone else, right? For the most part. But I think a lot of like what I knit, I would want to wear.
But see, you're great with color. And I had told her that I had said I was coming to the class because anytime you get beyond 2 colors, my brain can't handle it. You always have to help me when I'm doing something that's I can't handle it. My brain just can't handle it.
I think it's just practice.
No, it's not just practice.
It is practice.
You're good with color.
Thank you.
You're not. I was thinking about that.
I like picking out colors. One of the funnest parts about starting a new project is like trying to decide how I want colors to work together.
You did a whole blanket auditioning colors.
I almost brought that again today, but I haven't put anything on it. But it just I keep coming back to it because I keep thinking, like, the next thing I'm going to do is this fingering weight sweater because I want to wear a fingering weight sweater. And I have zero patience for the fact that it's not done.
Well, we just got to get it on the needles.
I know.
I thought that was super interesting and fun.
It is.
I was looking for that scarf that I did for my friend, and she wanted a specific set of colors, and I couldn't get them to go together. You had to help me make it work, because I just couldn't make it happen.
Girl, we got to get your Ravelry together.
But you know what? I don't have time for that.
I will also say, there's just one more thing we got to figure.
That's like a job.
Okay, for all you folks out there who are doing this and doing it well, and how are you managing?
That Ravelry is a job.
But like Ravelry, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, your own website, a Ravelry group. How are you doing all that? Do you have a full-time job, or is this it? Like, Is that what it is?
I don't know how people do it with the Ravelry. I should be better at it, but I'm not.
Well, I think what makes it harder about Ravelry is that, like, is there a Ravelry app? I bet there is. Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah, well, it's just, my problem is, I could at least just post. I mean, it's hard to type in all that information. I'm lazy. There you go. I mean, let's just be honest. I can't find it. Let's just be honest. I'm lazy. That's my problem.
You're so funny.
I am.
But so she's sitting here flipping through. She's got pictures of everything she's knitted, though.
And I keep saying I'm going to put it out there on Ravelry. And then I even bought the Sprocket, and I said I was going to print them on Sprocket and make my own journal. But Sprocket doesn't always print as true to color as I would like for it to.
Bummer.
You know, there's a million. There's just, I got a million excuses. You just ask me for one. I can let you borrow any one of my excuses. You can borrow them. I can't even find it, but I know I have a picture of it somewhere. But you had to help me. I remember I had so much
Christmas.
trouble.
Wasn't it a Christmas a couple years ago?
I just could not get the tone right. And there it is. I think I had the black.
Yeah, we did. We worked on that for a while.
Yeah, I could not get the tone right for that. But she could. I couldn't get the red right. And she wanted it black, yellow, green, and red.
Yes.
And I think you helped me finally get it right. And
it looks beautiful.
The green really, she picked a green that was very tonal with some yellow in it that really made it all come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's sometimes what gets me about color work things is, like, I'll look at it and I like the way certain things line up on one instance, but, like, sometimes when it comes back to the beginning to start again, I don't like how those two things. Yes.
You were having that problem with the blanket you were working on.
Yes, I was working a blanket. I've had that when I was trying to figure out how I was going to do that fade. Because I wanted to fade a fingering weight.
I'm working my facial
expression. Over sweater.
Hate a fade.
I know. But it's okay. We can all like different things.
I know, that's true. Everybody loved a fade. I think I cursed the fade.
Well, I think she tried to knit that was it a shawl?
Yeah.
The first thing was a shawl.
Find your fade.
Yes, you started with that. You had the most beautiful colors.
I was like, F your fade.
She had the most beautiful colors, and she started it, and, like, the pattern starts kind of interesting, and she's like, girl, it looks like I am knitting a thong. I am not going to do any more of this. So you quit on it, and you decided to do something else. But
I got all the fade colors still up there.
Oh, I know.
So if we could do a fade sweater.
You could do, see, that's the thing. I don't necessarily need to do that sweater pattern, because I think the proportions on my body are so different from hers, and, like, what looks fantastic on her body is not necessarily going to look fantastic on mine. Yes, she is built differently than you and I.
She's teeny. Yeah. She's teeny tiny. Yeah. She's petite.
I am not a teeny tiny petite person, and I don't know that I ever will be. And that's just like this body is wonderful. This body has carried babies. This body has taken me through all kinds of things. I'm still here and kicking and living. I put a bikini on this body whenever I feel like it. I have quick
I was watching the Fanciful Flamingo, my cross stitch, and she was saying, be kind. And she said, you could always be kind. She says, now see, I'm never going to be skinny, but I can be kind. I thought that was so funny. I was like, yeah, I'm never going to be skinny. So,
nope. And that's okay. Well, okay, where did I read about something like that? It was talking about, I was reading something, and it was like, I think it had to do with, like, this is going to sound interesting, but it was like, every person and, like, people are so different, and, like, but, like, if we look at other examples of, like, animals and stuff, like if you look at dogs, for instance, like, you don't look at, like, a Mastiff, right, who's big and long and tall and imposing, and expect it to change itself to look like a teacup poodle,
right?
Right? And so
Why do we do that with people?
And yes, and so the answer was like, if you were born to be a mastiff or a greyhound or a bulldog or a whatever, why are you trying to fit yourself into a teacup poodle or a chihuahua or, you know, a shih tzu or whatever it is that you're trying to fit yourself into? And I was like, why did a metaphor about dog breeds finally like hit home that
That's
like
true.
This person, this body is never going to be 5'1", 100 pounds, this, you know, size 0. Like it's just not in the cards for me. But also like those people already exist in this world, and they are there to be them, and I am here to be. And
God knew what He was doing. He had variety.
I am here to be
whatever
I'm supposed
God knows
to be.
what He's doing.
Exactly.
It would be a boring place if we were all the same.
It would.
Could you imagine?
It would.
That would be so boring.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I gotta go. Talk amongst yourselves.
Girl, I don't know what else we need.
Wait, the next thing I want to talk about is in the bathroom.
Well,
we're not editing, so talk amongst yourselves.
After that profound thought about all of our differences and how it's just fine. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we had discussed these bundles that are adorable. And Bad Tammy gave me one.
Girl,
I bought one, and then Bad Tammy gave me one.
I didn't realize it was merino cashmere nylon. I don't know what I thought it was, but
bought from Seven Sisters Yarn and
Sun
Fiber.
Valley Fibers,
Isn't it? It's Sun Valley. It's just gorgeous. Oh, it just feels so heavy. Oh, it's just
that
wonderful.
Cashmere. It's that cashmere giving you some drape.
Oh, it's just wonderful. Okay, so there you go. Didn't know what to do with that. Well, while I was at the Cascade event at YarnCom, I don't know if she got some new books, but I had never noticed this book.
Ooh.
Look at that book.
Mini skein knits. I like that because how easy is it to buy like a whole handful of mini skeins? You're like, what am I going to do with this?
And how often do you look at a book and they have one pattern? No. I like that one. I just envision maybe my bestie getting something. I think my bestie Molly would really like something.
I love that.
I love that hat. And then I like this hat.
I like that striped sweater. That's beautiful.
I like that striped sweater. So I was like, there you go, 3 patterns. So I bought it.
Yeah.
But then I started flipping through it.
They got you. Girl, they got you good. That's beautiful.
Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
So there's I don't need a fade. It's that.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It's that. That's gorgeous.
I was
Because that's the other hard thing about the fade is like, the colors I have, I don't know that they'll fade, but they look nice next to each other. And that is something that looks beautiful next to each other, but doesn't necessarily have to fade.
Right. Isn't it gorgeous? I was like, it's Tosh Merino Light.
So it is
fingering weight.
It's fingering weight, yeah.
Maybe what does it is it has the roll of the black in between that breaks it up. But
can we cuss on this podcast? Shit, man. That's beautiful. You have just flipped all my plans on its head.
So y'all, this book I think is worth and I really think my bestie. I was like,
so now I got to go to YarnCom and buy a book. Man, I have been on a self-imposed yarn fiber, all the things diet. Not a diet. I just haven't been buying stuff because I got a lot of stuff to knit.
But I mean, honestly, this hat is gorgeous. I was like, that's like something that could use up your scraps, but it's very sophisticated and adult looking.
Yeah.
You know,
it looks very intentional. I like that. I like it whenever you find scrappy patterns that look intentional, not like I don't know. YarnCom, she had a stack of them. She'll be more than happy to sell them. You can look it up. I'm sure she'll ship it to you if you want it. But would that keep me from buying other stuff in the store? I was like, wow, I really like. Now look, I'm not doing these rug mugs. Mug rugs.
I haven't gotten to that point yet. I got a rug mug. Tammy made me one. So
hey, my mom's been working on her rug hooking. Maybe she'll make you. I don't know if she will because she's.
yeah, is she?
It takes a little while to get that tension right and do it how she wants, but she's making little tiny mug rugs. A couple of them.
She's. I love that she just dove right in. So I was pretty excited
that.
about all of the options for.
And I have that gray that could be a great main color. Oh my God! I just found my next sweater pattern.
The rainbow cardi. Look at that.
This is why I came over here today, not to record, but to learn things and to get inspiration.
It caught my eye. You know, things happen at the right time. You notice how things. It was behind me on the shelf. And I was like, I've never seen that. Now, I was just in the shop the other day.
She's open today? Can I swing by there on the way home?
So, yeah, I was like...
I brought my hair wax. It's in my bag. Okay, postpartum,
when you said hair wax, what is that silly... What is that silly movie with George Clooney? Oh my word!
You can't really see it.
And wait,
my hair's clean.
He was some kind of criminal, but they finally tracked him down because of his hair wax. What is that?
Oh, Brother, we're out there.
Yeah,
Brother, yes. Girl, they make.
That's what I thought of when you said hair wax.
So it's so funny. I went to a happy hour with some moms from Molly's preschool class the other day, and like I was talking with a gal. She, so my youngest Sarah is 15 months. Her youngest, so she has a daughter who's Molly's age. She's about to be 4, or just turned 4. And then her youngest is 7 months. And so we were just talking, and like somehow postpartum hair came up, right? And
I didn't know about that till you told me about that. I was like, what?
She was like, girl, my regrowth is wild. And I was like, but I can't tell. I was like, your hair looks great. And she's like, the secret is hair wax. And I was like, what? So I went to Ulta the other day, and I walked in, and the girl comes up. She's like, "Hey, can I help you?" Because like I don't wear a ton of cosmetics, but
I'm here for the hair wax.
Yes, I was like, "Can you point me in the direction of some hair wax?" And she just went into it. She's like, "We have 3 different kinds, and blah blah blah, and this is this and this."
And you're like, "How did I not know about this?"
Thank you so much. Because like no, I don't buy makeup out. One of my very good friends is a consultant for Lime Life, which is like you just order it online, but she'll help you do like your colors and set you up and everything like that. And so the little bit of makeup I do have and wear, I just go through her.
Yeah, that's another one of those things where I had a revelation of why am I trying to. I just don't enjoy makeup.
No. Well, and like what she
on my face.
What she sells is really it's nice, and the nice thing is since she tests it all herself, and like. She's like, if you do this and wear it like this, then it doesn't, like, a lot of times it just feels like a little bit of moisturizer.
Oh, okay.
It's wonderful. And, like, she's like...
But you know how some ladies enjoy makeup. It's a hobby for them.
Yeah, and I think our hobby is this.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Our hobby. Ooh, what was... Oh, I gotta rip some stuff.
Okay, well, we're going to post that. Yeah, we're going to post that.
Check out the TikToks.
We'll rip stuff on TikTok.
Because I am definitely, I've given up all hope.
What are you giving up hope on?
Well, I just found this. I don't know who I was making this for.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Who am I making
you
this
were
for?
making this. Remember, we had a whole discussion about a year ago on what this hat was, because you were like, I can't remember what I'm doing this for. And we talked about it on the podcast. I couldn't tell you what episode, but we talked about this.
I now know why I have an odd number of stitch stoppers in my dish, because there's that odd one out, I think. Is he in here? Wait, no, there he is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who I was making that for.
Not Molly, because you had made... This is the yarn that you won from the bead place last year, because you won that other pink stuff.
But is this going to feel good on the forehead?
You made you made Molly that Julia
sweater.
That's
silly. Yeah. Is that going to feel good on somebody's forehead?
And girl, that's a good test. I don't know. What is it?
Because don't you hate it when you make a hat and then you put it on?
Oh, yeah. It's wool and silk. I think that'll be nice.
You're like, no,
that
don't feel good on my forehead.
Yeah.
Okay. I might continue with this since I found the pattern that I was making.
Yeah.
I was making a tilde hat.
You're going to make that. Look at those cables. She loves
Something
cables.
tells me tilde hat might be a free pattern somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm making a tilde hat.
One of the first things
I'll finish
we
this.
used to talk about all the time was how much you loved cables.
I'll finish this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get on that as soon as I finish up the sweater.
Okay.
Now this other, I don't know what this is. I don't know. I'm tired of working with this. What is this?
Is this a sock?
Okay. This was, again, something that I won.
Another hat.
I won at, oh, that's coming up. I won this at Founders Day. Let me think. Founders Day is next weekend.
I say, aren't you going to the luncheon with Bad Tammy?
Yes, I'm going with Bad Tammy.
I like these colors though.
I feel like somebody might have asked me to do something else next weekend that I'm not going to be able to do.
Yeah. Here's the thing I don't like though. I cannot, this is a personal preference, I cannot stand red and purple together. I cannot stand
Maybe that's my problem. I don't know. Whatever the
dislike
pattern is, I don't
so
like it.
much. You remember, I don't know, I was young. My grandmother she's 99. She's still kicking, she's doing her thing. But, I don't know, I must have been in high school. Maybe younger. But that whole, like, the purple hat women's club.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that? There was like a whole thing, but it was purple. It was like these purple hats with like red ribbons, and it just makes my skin crawl to see purple with red. But it drives me crazy because like on the color wheel, like where's your color wheel? Aren't they complementary?
Oh.
Drives me nuts. Can't stand it.
You know, we're going to explore this.
I will not put purple and red together or next to each other.
We're going to explore. I don't know what I did with it that fast. Keep talking. Talk amongst yourselves.
I cannot handle it. I cannot. Like I can handle a lot of colors, and I like purple and I like red. Not together.
Not together. Let's look at this. This is exciting. We're going to figure it out.
Because look, okay. So like the way a color wheel works, usually you just have like the 6 basic colors, like the 3 primary and the 3 secondary, and like.
So this over, are they churchy? Oh, on the back. She taught us all that too.
Yeah.
She taught us all that. There are complementary colors, split complementary colors, triads, and so let's see. When you put it on red, what does it say? Purple is to red.
So
it's a
tetrad.
Tetrad.
I like makes my skin crawl. But what's here
might be the problem. This might be the problem because over here are your warm colors and red is warm, and when you go this way, your purple's getting into your cool. Maybe that's the problem with you.
But I don't mind that.
But here's my thing.
I
don't really like this color because it's not a true red. I'm not into
it's red enough that it doesn't need to be by purple. But here's the wild thing. I can do blue and red. I can do blue and purple. I can do red and orange. I can do red and green, even though it feels Christmassy. I can do purple and green, purple and orange, purple and yellow, purple and blue. Red, but even like the other ones that are next to each other, I have no problem with. It is red and purple. I cannot put next to each other.
But I even went and bought some more Leading Men Fiber Arts.
Oh, these little DK bugs?
Because the original was a Leading Men Fiber Art, I think.
You just need to take this red out, and then you'd finish this. And I'd replace it with blue or gray or yellow or orange. Anything. Anything but red.
You might be right.
But even if you did this, put that in there where the red is, and then you'll finish it in no time.
Because this was part of the thing. Okay.
Cannot handle it.
And
I don't know what it is.
You're so funny because
I'm like, no.
For some reason, I was like, I don't like this combination. So then when I think at the Fiber Festival, I took this to Leading Men Fiber Arts. I was like, I'm going to buy some more colors. But I think you might have figured it out. This red is messing me up.
If you didn't have the purple, if there was no purple, you could do red.
Everything else goes, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. All of that really goes. Wow.
You could put orange in there and it would go. You could put blue in there. You could put yellow in there for a pop. You cannot put red in there. There's too much.
Girl, there you go. I'm so stupid. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna look at my hat over here and maybe do my little fade
I think
hat.
you should do that little fade hat with those colors. I think you'll be happier. But don't pull out this twisted rib. Look at that. Look at that twisted rib. And that is work right there, girl. Do not pull that out. Just pull out that rib. Pull out the rib.
Go down to the rib.
Go down to the rib. Look, we got those 000s out. We can just go.
Right.
You can do that on your TikTok. You just send that. You go. People would love to watch that.
Why do people like the ripping of the yarn so much? What is wrong with us?
It's mesmerizing.
It's okay when somebody else is ripping.
No, I don't even mind ripping my own stuff.
I don't mind.
If I'm not going to reknit it, I love ripping it. If I have to reknit it, it's a little painful.
I don't mind ripping my stuff, especially when I make a decision. This project is not going forward like this. I almost feel relief.
Yes.
To rip it because I don't feel like it's a project over there nagging at me.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching a lot of cross stitch and pumpkin hollow quilts. Olivia has a basket of cross stitch that she calls her mocking basket of whips. She's like, every time I pass by it, it's mocking me.
Get over here and do something about me.
Right. And so I think that's so funny. That's how I feel about projects that have stalled out. They're mocking me.
They are.
They're going, hey, you know. So I'll feel
look
relief.
at it and you think like, oh, I could just knock that out, but then you're like, I don't want to.
I can't even work on it.
My niece, she's 14 now. Whenever she was little, like 3, 4, one of the things she used to say, like if she didn't want to do something, she'd say, I just can't want to. I can't want to clean up my room. I can't want to eat that piece of rock. Whatever it was, I just can't want to. I'm like, girl, I feel that in my soul.
Right.
I can't want to either.
I feel her.
That's gorgeous. That would be so fun. Show them.
I'll have to adjust though, of course, because it's fingering and mine's DK. But
is it for multiple sizes though?
I'll make adjustments. Let's see.
No, one size.
But that's okay. I can make adjustments. All I gotta do. This right here is what an 8-row repeat. So all I gotta do is adjust my cast on.
I'd just take one.
Yeah.
Take one of those 7 stitches out and just do the rest. So it says cast on what? 140? So just cast on 133.
Yeah.
It might jack with your
no, it won't, because look, this right here is cinched.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it starts with 7, so it'd be fine.
Yeah, they did a cinched thing. They didn't really do a serious
Yeah, that's
decrease.
a really fast decrease.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it is. It's every round. That's why it looks like that.
Okay.
All right, problem solved.
So
Tune in next time.
So nice talking to you folks. Solve that problem for me.
All right, so I think we did it. We've got a lot to work on. I don't really know what you saw today. We talked a lot. And it brought me a lot of joy to be here doing this.
I know it's fun hanging out with you.
It is fun hanging out with you. And it's fun knitting
and
talking about knitting.
I do miss my little Molly, though.
I know. Well, you'll just have to come hang out with her.
I know.
Stop by after the Founders Day luncheon next weekend.
She'll have to, because she has to teach me all about the dinosaurs.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, wait, no. What's next? No, 2 weekends.
Wait, she got a birthday.
It's her birthday in 2 weekends.
Oh, wait.
Her party is in 2 weekends.
I need to RSVP to that, don't
I? Girl, I mean.
It's a lot. October is serious.
A lot of really wonderful people were born in October.
We were talking about it last night at a birthday party. We're like, I don't know, a lot of people in October. What was going on? Somebody said it was January. Yeah. It was cold outside.
Don't have anywhere else to go. Nothing else to do.
Everybody's parents was all snuggled up. It was cold.
Like the COVID baby thing. Like all these babies turned up. Well, you know, October, November, December, 2020. It's like, Like,
you figured it out.
Everybody's quarantined, locked at home. That's what happened.
Kick out the red. What color is Love Me Tender?
Yeah, that's gotta go.
We're not showing Love Me Tender any love. We're kicking Love Me Tender out.
She'd be just fine with anything but purple.
And then we have to figure out what we're doing from there.
Yeah, the rest of it will be fun.
Or, yep, I think that'll work. Perfect.
I love that. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for hanging with us today. I don't know what else we got going on. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. How about that? We'll come back with some updates. Let you know how life's progressing. Stay tuned to the social medias for all of our
how well we're doing with everything.
And I'm serious. What time does YarnCom close today so I can go get that book?
You were so funny.
I am dying to start that sweater. I told you I just want a fingering weight sweater and I just want to knit it.
Okay.
With all my free time.
Okay.
But I have
Stay
that
on task.
I can't.
You're not allowed to have 2 sweaters at the same time.
No, I won't. But I can indulge in like winding the yarn and like
picking the
the
color.
needles.
Yeah, you can do all of that.
I can totally do that. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming back. It's so nice.
It is. Thanks for watching with us.
We appreciate it.
Leave us a comment. Say hello. Tell us about whatever your favorite mini skein project is, or how do you feel about a fade?
Okay. I'm trying to watch my facial expression. She wrote that fade out. Ooh, she had one idea and she went with it.
Oh, I found it. I found a designer the other day who I think you would like.
Who?
I can't think of her name right now. I'm gonna send. I was gonna put it in the group, but I forgot. I got distracted. Anyway, we'll tell you guys about that next time. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.